From NBC North Dakota Sports, you're watching live coverage of the 33rd Annual Kfyr-Tv Budweiser Bowling Classic. Brought to you by McQuaid Distributing in Bismarck, Braun Distributing in Dickinson, and Delaney Distributors in Williston. Now, here are your hosts, Lee Timmerman and Jim Mellon.
What a super way to start this sports day. Hello, everyone, and welcome live to Midway Lanes in Mandan for the 33rd Annual Kfyr-Tv Budweiser Bowling Classic. I'm Lee Timmerman, along with Jim Mellon. And Jim, so far, what's the week been like? We're down to the final five.
Well, it's been a busy week. You know, we go after this thing about 6 weeks prior to the tournament, and we get everybody lined up. Then in the last minute, you always have them dropouts. So we scramble around there and put 5 bowlers in right on the tail end. But everything ran really smooth. The help was on top of everything, and we're all set to go. We had 120 bowlers out there. We got 30 today, and now we got 5.
How did we get to that 30? We started with the 120. That's the full field. And from what I was told, the shot was a little tough yesterday, and it's supposed to be, isn't it?
Right, it's supposed to be. It's not your league shot, because these guys that are playing this thing, you know, they're coming in there with these 220-30 averages, and they're very versatile and, you know, to handle anything. But it only took 202 to make it. So, you know, it was tough for them. But those that could think through it, make the ball change, make the speed change, and position change, they were here today, and they got through it. So
we've had everybody but me, I think, at the banquet last night. You may have noticed I'm a little hobbled here. So thanks, and a shout out to Kristen Clauston for filling in for me. She's from our station. She did a good job, is what I understand. And now I'm out of job, right?
Yeah, no, you're not out of job. In fact, it's great to see you here. I heard you were advised not to do the show. You're on a lot of pain medicine. But if you pass out up there, we're just going to wing it.
Good. That sounds good to me.
All right.
We've had 17 300s over the course of this 32 now in our 33rd year. None so far. Maybe we'll get one this afternoon. Wouldn't that be fun?
It's worth $300 if they do it. You know, and the high game of the tournament so far is only $288. So we're still looking for that big one.
And we might have it this afternoon, but there are only 5 individuals who have an opportunity to do that. Our stepladder finals are 5 finalists. Let's meet who you will be able to watch this afternoon. In the number 5 position, it's Mike Larson from Fargo.
Oh, he's a player. He's out of Fargo. I thought he was going to make the show last year because, well, you'll see when you watch it on the show. He's just a dynamic bowler. He's steady. He doesn't do anything crazy. He's got good speed on his ball. He makes the adjustments, and that's why he's here. And
he will be taking on a former champion of this event in 2017. Mike Green from Minot won this. He is our number 4 qualifier this year.
Yes, Mike, great shooter out of Minot. I'll tell you, all those guys that come in are out of Minot. They're good players and all that. Mike worked really hard to hold his position. He got up there and a little higher than he was today, and then he went backwards, and then he came back up, and here he is to take him on. But both of them are fantastic shooters.
And speaking of fantastic shooters, especially in this tournament, he's won it twice. It's Matt Smallin, our number 3 qualifier. Matt's from GLENBURN. He won in 2013 and again in 15.
And he's very colorful. Matt's, I like Matt. He's got a 2-year-old boy, and if we ever get a chance to show this, I'm going to show the footage on this. His little boy is walking around their home up in Minot, and he's saying, "I'm going to bowl the KFYR tournament," and he goes through the release shot, and it's the cutest thing you ever seen in your life.
Oh, that's right. We're going to need to get that and put that on the air one of these first years. And whoever wins our second match will take on our number 2 qualifier. New to me, this is Harold Holt. He comes from Rapid City, and Harold, I know, does a lot of traveling with Ted Steichoff, and Ted's had been solid in this tournament over the years, but it's good to have a South Dakotan, our number 2 qualifier.
Oh, yeah, out of Rapid City, and I'll tell you, a gentleman he is, but a player on the lanes he is too. And I'll tell you, he was leading the tournament almost all day long today, and he slid down to 2nd spot, but it's going to be a good match to watch him do it.
And whoever survives to that point in the tournament takes on our number 1 qualifier from Bismarck, Thomas Wolf. Thomas has been on TV a number of times. He's been as high as number 3, still looking for that championship, and he has a chance today from our top qualifying spot.
Right. Thomas was up in Minot last week. They were doing their tournament like ours. He got the flu. He qualified 5th place and got the flu and had to bail out for Sunday. You know, that's too bad, but he's here today. I asked him how he felt yesterday. He said, "Oh, I don't feel good at all." But he's in number 1 spot, so let's see what happens. He's overdue.
We will see what happens, and it will start next with the Mike and Mike match. It's Mike Larson and Mike Green, our first of the stepladder finals of the 33rd Annual Kfyr-Tv Budweiser Bowling Classic, and it's coming up next.
Yes.
Final warm-up tosses on our championship pair here at Midway Lanes, lane number 31 and 32.
We've been there forever on 31 and 32.
They weren't always called 31 and 32. I still was it
15 and 16.
And
yes.
I still, that shows you that I've been around a long time too, huh, Jim? Because I still think of them as 15 and 16 as well.
Well, we talked about that the other day, Lee. You know, I've been on this one 33 years. You've been 23 now or
Me?
more?
I think 28. I think I've done all but 5.
Yes. Well, I'll tell you what, and as I look at you, you look like you're going to get through the show with all that apparatus on. But I'll tell you, shoulder surgeries are no fun. I know you've been dealing with it all week, and Troy Pierce said it was a major surgery, so thank you for coming.
Yep, well, I'm glad to be here. I like I said, I'm not totally 100% cleared to be here, but we fudged it a little bit, so
well, if
here
you pass out, we're just going to wing it because, you know, we don't think we can do the show without you, so you hang in there.
Yeah, just kick me to the curb if you have to.
Those are brand new pins, by the way, down there. He starts with a strike.
It's Mike Green's first ball in the first frame, and as the number 4 Mike Larson. I've got 2 mics going here.
Yeah.
But take a look at Mr. Larson coming again from Fargo.
Look at that nice knee bend, and I'll tell you, everything's solid. He follows through. Looks like he's been pumping weights, so he's ready to stand the day.
First frame for Mike Green.
You'll see a lot of these guys playing real deep inside because the lanes are what we call toasted right now. They're real dry from all the play this morning, and it's forced everybody to go in real deep with their release and on the lane and swing it way out to the right.
Not only from the play that we've had so far today, but our last match was bowled about, 40 minutes ago or so?
Right, 40
Just
minutes.
the lane sitting for 40 minutes will change the characteristic of the way the ball reacts to him, right?
Exactly, and each guy shot 10 games earlier this morning, so the lanes are very dry. See how it grabbed that ball and hooked it past there? He doesn't like that start, but it looked to me like he wasn't using his spare ball there, but could be wrong.
If there's one thing we have seen and witnessed throughout bowling tournaments for as long as they've been on television and as long as people watched, if you're going to make a mistake, make it early.
Right.
So Mike Green here, even though he has an open in the first compared to a strike in the first, by no means is it remotely close to game over. Right?
Exactly. Michael adjusted this. He won't miss that 10 pin again.
There's a solid pocket.
And that's the sound of brand new bowling pins. They just are stubborn. They're flat bottom. They haven't been broke in. So that forces the score to be down a little bit too. So we'll give these guys a little break. But that ball, as it went down there, it kept hooking so hard it pushed the 5 straight past the 5 or the 9 pin. That's why he left it.
And he'll cover on frame number 2.
Now this is where you go after that killer instinct. If Mike Larson will get up there and get the next 2, he's got the definite advantage, as we can see, because with the open with Mike Green, it's already put him behind 10 to 20 pins.
All of these guys have been bowling for a long time, and obviously you get to this point, they're very, very good. Mike Larson, who we're watching his second frame right here, he leaves the 10, but
he's got 17. He was 17 sanctioned 300s. Well, if there was an obstacle out there this last couple of days, it's the 10 pin. If they can't kick the 10 pin out, it's going to be a long day for them.
And
there's another one.
Just like Green did early, Larson pulls that spare, so both guys with an open now.
I think they got a little bit of nervousness too. They'll relax here pretty quick, hopefully. But they've waited about 40-45 minutes now to get back on the lanes, and hopefully they're not stiff. They did loosen up a little bit prior to the match.
Third frame, strike.
That's basically an even game out there right now. That is a nice stroke. Look at the revs on that ball. And as I say that, it's a normal release rev. Now these guys are throwing two-handed and stuff. They'll get
crazy?
up to 560-some revs on that ball before it hits.
I saw that. It must have been maybe a week or 2 ago in the PBA when they have all that.
Kyle Troop, it's Guppy Troop's son, the colorful Kyle Troop. It looks just exactly like his dad did back in the 80s. In fact, I commented to my wife. I said, if I wasn't sure, I said, I'd say that's Guppy's kid, and it was Kyle out on tour. Looking good, though. Two-hander. Let's get on them deal and start getting these spares down where they should be. That's better.
Good follow through.
Yeah.
Right in the center of that one.
And a little more speed too. What I found out the last couple of days towards the end of each day, if they weren't keeping their speed up, they were out of the tournament. Because those lanes get so dry, they really grab that ball and hook, especially the reactive balls. They're plastic balls. You'll see a lot of them go to that plastic, real shiny ball, so it doesn't grab the lane. They're real hard. That way it doesn't overreact.
Both guys with a 28 count through 2. This is the 4th frame
There
for
we
Green,
go.
and there he gets his strike.
Yeah, we're loosening that pocket up a little bit now. That was a good shot for Green. Minot produces a lot of great bowlers, same way with Fargo. In fact, the whole state, you know, if their bowling centers are really working with their bowlers, these guys really get pumped up to do these kind of tournaments. Solid pin. A little tight, coming a little high.
And speaking of the bowling, are in that Fargo Moorhead area. This guy right here who's working, Mike Larson's already in there, Hall of Fame.
Oh, yes. Yes, a lot of them. He has 14 sanctioned 800 series. And to me, I think an 800 series is harder to get than a 300 because you got to be consistent for 3 games.
And Larson covers. You told me to, and I forgot. 853, is that the highest that you've had so far this year here?
Right, 853. We thought it was a state record, but we're off by 7 pins. But it was an amazing night for that gentleman.
Who had that night? Tell me again.
I'm going to tell you, I was just sitting, I knew you were going to ask
sorry.
me. So
Okay.
I'm running my old brain out, and I'll have it for you in a second here.
I always say I'll think of it tomorrow.
Oh, Chad Breckel.
Oh, that's right.
Thank
Chad.
you.
Yep. And there's the 10 you've talked about.
Right. And talking about Chad Breckel, he shot the tournament this weekend. He didn't make the cut to naturally to the top 5, but he did make it in the Sunday. But 2 years ago, he had a 800 series his first 3 games on Saturday, and I thought he was a swish in. He never made the cut. He was plus 200, never made the cut after the 8 games were done.
Larson, there he goes. He didn't give it the tug this time. Yeah.
He's a colorful guy. He's a good guy. I like that guy.
And I know every year we talk about, you see behind Mike and the guys warming up in the background, but it's hard to imagine how busy this place is Saturday and then again this morning. And then once we get to our qualifiers, everybody goes home and watches it on TV.
Yeah, they like to go home and relax and watch TV. There for a couple. That one jumped again right into the head pin. But I was trying to walk down the concourse here, and I was narrowed down to about 1.5 feet wide. I mean, the people are just packed in here.
So there, when you say jumped, we're going to see this. We didn't see it hit the head pin, but it jumped, slammed the head pin straight back, and that's not what you're looking for, obviously.
I've seen so many of these splits in the last 2 days. It's unbelievable. I thought, wow, the boys are working hard. Look at here. Ooh, he got her.
Yes!
He got her. Great shot.
So is that one where even though you throw it, you're surprised yourself that you even got it?
Right, well, they're going for it because, as you can see, that kept him in the match. So they're 1 pin difference is all. So he was needed.
There's the 1 pin difference. Mike Green with the 1 pin advantage. Both guys working on spares. This is the 6th frame for Mike Green. Mike again from Minot. A good roll. Oh, left the 10.
You leave a 10 again?
Yep.
Oh, the brand new pins.
So why do you do that to these
Jack
guys?
does that.
I know Jack wants to make it as difficult as possible, doesn't he?
Right.
Even when he was in these, making it to this far in the tournament and winning tournaments, I know it is not. It's like putting the Sunday pin placement for golf in a little bit, isn't it? Make it as difficult as you can.
Right. Jack bowled the tournament yesterday, and it was kind of cute because, you lose more tournaments than you win. And I went over, I said, how's it going, Jack? He says, I'm in the 10th frame and have not got a strike yet. That's how tough it was. Jack's a Hall of Famer and everything else, and I'll tell you what, this guy can play, and he never got a strike in the whole game. It was
That's
very
Jack
different.
in the lower right of your screen there,
right.
sitting and watching.
He's our head mechanic, and he's a very smart man.
Oh, there's a solid shot.
Yeah, that was a good carry. Good carry. Yeah, when things go wrong, I always say point at Jack, but I'll tell you what, he's a dynamic person keeping this place running. Good mechanics are hard to find now, you know, and I'll tell you, we look all over the country for the right ones, and they're just not out there. You almost have to grow up in it.
7th frame, Mike Larson.
Ooh, that
Left
was
the other
solid.
side.
And we've seen a lot of that too. Solid hits that just do not take the corners out. So there's a lot of spare shooting. Every once in a while you catch a 4 or 5 bagger, but most of the time they're grinding her out. Just that should have went down, didn't happen.
And he
Very
covers
nice.
the 7th.
We had a great turnout for our banquet last night. We missed you. I know you're probably laid up at home trying to get out of here for this, but you got a gal that works for you guys, Kristen.
Yep, Kristen Clouston.
Oh,
Yep.
she did a wonderful job for you.
Yeah, I know Daryl Olson was our sales manager, was here as well, and Kristen is on his staff. And Kristen used to work in the news side with us.
That's why she's
Yeah.
so smooth. yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah. All right, and we've seen a lot of that too. I mean, it was amazing that the different
Okay.
leaves are left.
So is that a speed thing or?
Right, well,
what-
he's been coming up high, so
Yep.
he's sent it out a little further. You got to remember, there's been a lot of bowling balls going down that right side, pushing the oil down. He went down waiting for the break, and it caught the oil line that's been pushed out there for all morning.
And it zoomed straight, and
Yep.
there goes the hook,
And there
all
goes the hook, and he
you're done.
says, well, he's done for that frame. He just might pick this up. You never know.
You got the
Yep.
first split. Here he takes down those five.
He says, you haven't got me down yet. I'm only 5 pins down. So
There's a really good angle at what
Yes.
Mr. Green had to do to cover that. Again, Mike won this tournament a couple of years ago. He was
Yes.
our champion in 2017. I
He's
was
a-
going to go off the top of my head. He beat Brad Nordic that year.
okay. And Brad is a good shooter out of Fargo. You know, he bowled today. He made the cut from yesterday, but he didn't have a good morning.
There
Yes.
was high.
Yeah, it's got him flustered a little bit. He's not getting that. Real nice same shot every time. He tugs her a little bit. I think what happens, they try to get a little more speed on it, and they tug it, and all of a sudden everything's off killed, or they don't have a smoother release. Trying to get that speed.
And there he covers that one. He's been our spare man today. But and two, for someone like myself, it's hard to understand, even though I know this is true, even though those lanes to the naked eye look exactly the same, everyone is not the same.
No, and 31-32, and you've heard me say it
Yep.
for 100 years, it's about 1 to 2 boards difference all the time. And we don't have an answer for it. It's just the way it is. It's almost like there's a high board out there, but there isn't. They're level. He's got good revs on that ball, but again, it's hard to keep it from going onto the nose. And, bowling looks pretty easy, but when you're bowling in this particular condition we have this weekend, I'll tell you, it is not easy. And the way these guys bowled so well to get here, it's amazing.
Spare in the 8th frame for Mike Larson.
You notice he wasn't turning his back on that one.
He had watching her all the way.
He watched her all the way. And it's only a 6-pin difference. Both of them are struggling a little bit, not a lot of strikes, so it is what it is.
Matt Smallin will take on the winner of this Mike and Mike contest.
And, we're hoping to give $300 out for a 300 game, but with the condition the way it is, it's going to have to take a fine shot. See him catch that oil out there? It didn't. It went out.
Tried to come back, but it couldn't quite make it, could it?
And then he tries it on the next one, and he tugs it, and you get the same thing Mike had, but he goes left. So they got about 1 board to play with out there, and they don't have the 6 to 8 board width that they can go. If you see the lane there, you can see the little lines on it, that we call those boards. And a lot of times in the league shot that they play normally during the week, they have 6 to 8 boards that they can get into that area and look for a strike. These guys got to hit 1 board to make it work.
So Mike Larson is through 9 frames.
It's time he's got to go to work right now. He's got to get the load up frame now. He's got to get a strike here to give himself a chance.
And this is Mike Green's 9th frame.
Right. This is the money ball.
It's a big, important shot for him.
Nope, that hurt him. That hurt him. He's got a split there. He can get, if he can pick it up, he can go 187. Mike's sitting on 194. He got potential, so it's still anybody's ball game, depending on how it works out.
Well, this is the simpler of the splits he's had so far.
Yes, and I don't want to psych him out here, but it's the easiest one in the bunch, and he got her.
He got it.
Good man. Okay. I mean, he is working hard.
And Mike Green has his 10th frame coming up. Mike and his wife Janet have been married for 17 years. He's an IT coordinator for the United Public Schools.
Well, a lot of these guys got great careers, but bowling is their sport, just like a lot of guys, golf's their sport or whatever. But these guys, they'll bowl into their 80s. We had an 81-year-old shoot the tournament. He didn't qualify naturally, but he had a great time. Clarence Mock out on Napoleon.
Oh, cool. Oh, that was not coming back at all.
Nope, I think Mr. Larson will be moving on unless he falls apart here.
Right about there. It just, there's no way you can tell that ball's coming back. Even though it's still spinning, it's going straight.
Those lanes are 12 years old right now. That surface we have on there looks brand new yet. It's synthetic. It's made out of really hard substance base, and you can't dent it, you can't hurt it.
Mike will have one more ball left to go. 165 so far.
Yeah, he's going to go 175. All it takes is just a fill from Mr. Larson, and the game will be pushed to his side.
And there is his 175.
Right. It still forces Mike to, Mr. Larson to fill. He's still got to get a fill.
10th frame.
Oh my goodness, that's 3 times he's hit this pocket. He left a 10, he left a 7, now he left an 8. That's almost unfair. Jack, get the new pins out of there.
But yet inside you're smiling because you know how tough it is. And
oh yeah. All right, it's going to be his winner right there. He's just got to get himself.
What, needs 3 pins?
Yeah, 3 pins. That's a pretty low start, but it's like we've been bowling all week. But as I say that, I'm looking at the scores last night. There's a lot of 260s and 70 games, so they can be hit, but the guys got to be right on with it and some breaks.
So Mike Larson knocks down more than enough. He takes out all of them with a 183. So a 183 to a 175 in our battle of Mikes. So Mike Larson advances to take on Matt Smallin. Matt, our number 3 qualifier. Mike Larson, our number 5 qualifier. That sets up match number 2 here on the 33rd annual Kfyr-Tv Budweiser Bowling Classic. We'll be right back to Midway Lanes in Mandan after you see this. Welcome back to Midway Lanes. Our first match went to Mike Larson. Or excuse me, yeah. Mike Larson of Fargo, yes. Advancing, that's Mike right there. He defeated Mike Green, and Matt Smallin is up next. Our second match of the day, working our way all the way up to our championship contest. That's where Thomas Wolf qualified number 1.
And Matt's a 2-time winner in the past. So you'll see him digging in, but I feel sorry for the guys. They're bowling good enough to kick all the pins out and There's just no carry there right now.
And just a reminder, too, if you weren't here at the top of the show, Harold Holt of Rapid City is our number 2 qualifier. So those men you will also be able to see this afternoon. That's frame number 1, and this will be the second ball here thrown by Larson. And he covers. That'll bring Matt Smallin up.
Just by hearing the sound of the ball hitting, they're starting to pick their speed up a little bit. They know they're not gelling with the old soft roll. They're starting to hit her up pretty hard. Matt, he'll figure this out. He's no dummy. He's a player. He'll send that ball way out and bring it back in.
He'll really hook at this thing.
Yes, he will.
Look at where he
He's
starts.
Deep inside, left gutter. Left gutter, watch this.
And it kicked it.
Yep, he kicked it. And as he keeps carrying, and he just might do it, he might be the guy that can push some pins out. You'll see him get colorful like he's been in the past.
A little more power in that stroke, isn't there?
Right. You know, he's not a big guy, but boy, he's a powerful player. I just like a lot of golf players out there weigh 110 pounds, hit the ball 300 yards.
There, he mashed him.
This is the man I seen for 2 days. They're tough for a lot of people, but he made them look easy.
Yeah, watch how this hits the pocket, and these babies are gone.
They're gone. Plus the first one before that one, he got that scout out. It come out, the head pin came out the wall and shot all the way across the lane to get that 10 pin out.
Frame 2 for Larson.
So he's trying to get
Is
inside.
Or is there just one back there?
No, there's just one.
Okay.
But when I say that, I better check again.
No, I think you're right.
Yeah.
Our replay, of course, will show us.
Right.
One.
And you get that real deep release, on the approach there off the left gutter like that. You got to have a lot of hit on that ball, a lot of spins.
And Mike covers that up. So he starts 9 spare, 9 spare. Matt, of course, starts strike.
And Matt will change balls. I've seen him change 2-3 times on one game, trying to get the right fit for the lane. And every one of these guys are packing 6 to 8 bowling balls, and it's just nuts out there. We kind of did a guess, like I say every year, it's over 1,000 bowling balls are in here for 120 bowlers. We had bowling balls all over the place.
That looked pretty good.
That was much nicer.
That came off his hand nice.
Yes, yeah, he got a little more left on it, and it seemed like he slowed it down a little bit on that deep inside, give it a little time to get there.
Well, you talk about how, Smallin, who we're looking at, how one of our younger bowlers, even though he's played a while, he's been bowling for 26 years because you come up through the junior ranks.
Right.
You've had kids that have come through this place, and you watch them develop, and they there's a turkey to start.
Right. Well, it's talking about young kids. We got a Clayton Reed that works for us. He's 17 years old. He's got the highest 3-game set in the state, 817 for a junior bowler. He did that in the Masters Eliminator a couple weeks or last year.
What'd you say, an 817? Wow.
817.
Okay.
His games were 290, 258, 269 for 817, and he just recently shot a 299. So congrats to that. That's what you're looking at in the future.
Smallin going for his 4th in a row, and there it is. Boy, he is. You don't get more dialed in than that. When all 10 hit the pit that hard.
And I'll tell you, he sent in a message real early that I'm here to play. Talk about all the contestants. 4 of my teammates, Tom Job, the 2 Merch boys, and Chris Barrows on our Wednesday night league. I do a little shout out for them. They bowled the tournament. I think they took the last 4 spots. Yeah, Mike's starting, push a little bit. He's up against a very powerful player right now. But Mike, in the 10th game of the elimination this morning, the qualifying, he got in on his last game. He shot a big game, got his bonus points, and slid right past a couple of the other bowlers that are already seated higher than him. So he worked hard to get there. He's working hard again to try to stay in there.
And he fills his 4th frame.
All right.
59 through 3.
I think these parents, they have these kids, they if they like bowling and they're really into it for their sport, they start teaching these kids to like the game when they're little toddlers, Much better.
You can hear that one, too,
yes, much better.
He's got the game if he can just get it all together now. Took care of them new pins.
5th frame for Smallin.
He'll start getting colorful here if he gets this one. Watch him. He carries this one. Watch him.
Looks good.
Oh yeah, well he's smooth yet. He isn't jumping real high yet. I like the color of his pants. An argument, I told my wife they were purple. She said no, they're blue. So I said okay, they're blue purple.
Oh, really?
Yep.
I was going to go with purple.
Mm-hmm.
But you know what? On our monitor, they look more bluish. But in person, they look more purple.
Well, he's
so we're both right. Tell Rhonda we're both right.
Yeah, he always used to wear red pants. He changed this year on us. Nice shot.
Number 6.
Yeah. I'm not going to say it. We'll just keep watching, okay?
Sure.
All right.
Can I say it?
You can say it.
I can say anything I want?
Yes, you can.
Okay. But I will say off the top of the show, we did hint at that a little bit. We hint about the thing we're not saying.
About the thing we're not saying.
Okay. 6th frame here for Mike Larson. Ooh, wrapped around the 10. I thought that looked pretty good.
Yeah. He's had a lot of those. You know, in his first match, he left a 7, a 10, an 8. All 3 could have given him the doubles or turkeys that it will be needed to win these a lot of times. Oh, Mike, you just threw yourself out of the game. That's 2 of those he's lost today now, so it's tough out there. We're going to bring one of my managers, my pro shop managers in here before this is over. He's going to talk about bowling balls, just a few minutes on what these guys are dealing with and what they're doing, why they're bringing so many bowling balls. But these manufacturers are just nuts. They're putting out equipment with weight blocks in them and surface, different ones, softness, porous, hard, and all that. And these guys have so many bowling balls for the condition of the lanes they're running in. They just dial in with something else that works. Yeah, this is getting pre-statement right now. There's a statement being done now that's probably going to declare our winner quite quickly here.
GLENBURN's Matt Smallin watching us on Friends and Family from KMOT.
Yep.
It was flying across there, and I thought it was going to nail it. Hey, that's a pretty good run, though. 6 straight.
Okay, we can say he didn't get his 300. No. But you know something? I really thought he was going to kick it out with that messenger. Watch that pin come across there. Look at that. Just missed it. No fair. Jack again.
During the commercial break, we did tell Jack Nelson, we said, we're throwing you under the bus. And we joked about it. So that's 169 pins through 6 frames.
Yeah.
There you see Matt working on his spare in the 7th, so here's his 8th.
Yeah, he's pretty well closed the door on Larson. But
now you just want to keep the momentum rolling. And that was a high hit.
As I say that, he let some of the break on, but it's not going to kill him. He doesn't want to do that 3 frames in a row, though, I can guarantee you. Got just a little soft in that one. Probably relaxed after Mike left that 10 pin. Let's see if he gets it. He took a shot at it. Okay, that puts him 146, 176, 206. Matt just needs 1 fill in the next 2 frames.
There's the X that
nice.
Larson's been looking for.
Right. He didn't get any breaks on his first match either, but he did wind up winning. Winning it. And he sure didn't get any breaks in this game.
Yeah. Mike works in inventory control in the warehouse for Spartan Nash over in Fargo.
Been bowling out there 25 years. He doesn't look that old. I thought he was like early 30s there, but he's been out there a while.
Back to back. This is ninth frame here for Smallin. Harold Holt will take on the winner of this match.
You know, I said earlier when we introduced him right before the show, Harold, everybody's gonna like him. He's just a steady guy. Doesn't get shook up about anything. Just quite a gentleman.
There's the pocket, and there's a nice little hit off the boards.
He can get himself a, 223, 253 there. That'd be a nice game.
See how that head pin slams against the side, comes out.
And a
now
ball
it's
change.
Time to experiment.
Yep, ball change.
He has obviously a lot of leeway in the match, the way it's going. He's not only thinking, he's thinking for next time. Let's see what happens.
Next game,
Yep.
he's thinking. You bet he is. He's taking that experimental shot because he's got this game in hand. Ooh, did that hit solid? That was great. Great shot. Good ball move too. You know, just get out there and grab a fresh ball and basically he's playing the same line, but that seemed to have a really good carry to it. In fact, I don't even know what kind of ball he's throwing right now.
I'm going to
Is
say
that a
round.
Brunswick?
I'm
Yeah,
gonna say
round.
round.
I'm thinking it might be a Brunswick. I got to look at that.
Darren's looking at me.
What is it? Why don't we bring Darren in right after this match?
We can, yeah.
That'll work. Get suited up.
Yep.
We're gonna.
And there's Matt Smallin finishing up his 10th with a 242. And the 10th frame here for Larson is coming up as well. But what a start in that one for Matt, rolling.
Yeah,
six
Lee,
straight.
I'm going to turn my mic over to my pro shop man here. So,
Okay. Larson finishing out the 10th. And again, Harold Holt will be coming up next. And that will do it with a 172. So 242 to a 172. There's Matt Smallin advancing. Harold Holt will be the next person to jump into lanes 31 and 32. It's the 33rd annual Kfyr-Tv Budweiser Bowling Classic. We'll be back to Midway Lanes after this. That is what they're playing for, the championship here of our 33rd annual Kfyr-Tv Budweiser Bowling Classic. Jim stepped aside. Young man, introduce yourself to everyone again. It's been a whole year.
It has been. Darren here, working the pro shop, checking everything out, see how things are rolling up. Was working behind the machines the last few games, make sure everything's running up and down for him, and it's going smooth so far.
You know, Jim talks a lot, and that's one of the reasons, too. You do a lot of work with the pro shop. You see Harold Holt right there, Harold from Rapid City. But why does it take as many different pieces of equipment as it does sometimes for these guys to achieve what they're hoping to find?
All right, these guys are bringing about 8 bowling balls out. I think about it 150 on up per ball. So it gets pretty expensive. What it is each ball, it could be a solid cover stock, which means it's much softer. It grabs the lane a little bit earlier. It hooks up earlier, get a different angle in the pocket. That's pretty much what bowling is now, is angle into the pocket. You want about 6 degrees angle to get the good strike in there.
Here's frame number 1 from Matt Smallin. Matt with a 242 last game to advance, and he is going to stay with the ball he finished last time.
If I'm correct, this ball is the Honey Badger he moved. He's a Global 900 staffer, so he gets a lot of good stuff out of Global 900. This one's a pin up. That pin is showing where the top of the weight block can be. If it's above the fingers, which means the ball will go down longer before it makes its motion. If it's below, it'll hook up earlier.
And a spare in the first for Matt. And this will be our first real good look here of Harold Holt. I know Jim talked a little bit about Harold off the top of the show. Harold comes from Rapid City. He and Ted Steichoff, I understand, spend a lot of time in a car together, going to different events.
They do. They love their Brunswick equipment. I don't know Harold too much, but I see him come up every year with that B on their back, Brunswick. Makes me quite jealous. I'm a Brunswick guy myself.
His first frame is a strike.
Looks like Harold went to the fallback. He's not playing out so far. Down lane. His break point is probably about 15, I want to say, instead of that 10 to 9 range. A lot of these guys, Randy Peterson's probably one of my best known guys to watch to play that fallback. But once they get lined up on that, they are pretty unstoppable, these guys.
Not as much variance in that particular spot on the lanes as everybody who's maybe throwing wider. Is that why? Or
it's just not as snappy in the back. You can see it doesn't snap as much.
And he gets the kick.
Down lane. 2 strikes it says up there. He's playing that fallback. As you can see down lane, them dark boards. On that replay, he's about 4 to 5 boards inside of that dark board right there. That is pretty much known as a fallback. You're not going to get that snappy aggression as everybody else does. Made a ball change. Went back to his other one.
See how it works for Matt. Smallin, frame 2. And there's 8 count.
He's throwing a lot of ideas through his head right now and why that didn't check up. Sweet spot right now for him, I think, is about 8 board, which is 2 boards right at that dark one. That's the sweet spot right now.
Chopped it. Yeah.
Not an easy spare. You got to hook at it. Throw plastic gave him more of a chance of a miss, but in this case, didn't work out so well. We can see you out there next year, Lee?
Doing what?
Bowling with your left hand, it looks like.
No, I'm need surgery on the left shoulder later this year, starting with surgery on the right shoulder.
That's all right.
It's going to be a year of rehab for me. And a high hit.
Very high. He moved in at his feet and at the arrows, and now he didn't get that one out. He's searching now.
I mean, I don't understand it from the performance aspect, but I certainly do from watching. And sometimes it's hard to believe that the same guy who 20 minutes ago rolled off 6 straight to open and looked like he might have been, he certainly was on pace to bury them all, and now he's doing a lot of searching.
He is. I think the idle played a big role last game on soaking up that oil. These balls soak up oil instead of pushing it down a little bit more. So I'm guessing it dried out that line for him, and now he's searching a little bit that he wasn't expecting.
Mr. Holt, our number 2 qualifier. Off to our left is Thomas Wolf. He will take on the winner of this match for the championship. Boy, he's been solid.
Yeah, that's a very good line he has. He's throwing Radical equipment, which is a Brunswick brand. Brunswick is notorious for early rolling equipment, not so snappy. The Global 900 is a company that Storm owns, actually, and that's known for really snappy equipment. So right now it looks like the roll is doing a little bit better than the snap. See if it continues through 4 here.
Three straight strikes for Harold to start it.
He does.
Make it 4.
Now, I'm not positive yet if he's throwing 2 different lines or if he has that much playroom down lane, because he missed about 3 boards in compared to the last shot he just made, so we'll have to look into that.
Fourth frame for Smallin. There's a solid hit again.
Had a quick talk with himself before he walked up. He knew what he had to do.
Bill, it won't happen this year because we only have 3 guys left, but Matt has finished in the TV portion of this tournament every spot except 4th.
Really?
Yep.
I don't think that'll ever happen in his case. He's pretty good.
He is, and of course he's won twice. He's a champion in 13 and a champion again in 15.
There you go.
Got a little friendly kick.
Yeah. He's calmed himself down. He's getting excited. He's following through a lot better now.
Do you see the two-hand thing happening with young kids out here?
Oh,
Much?
man. You would ask that question. It is actually kicking off pretty strong, actually.
Is it?
We have about 2 young ones in our junior program that are revving up pretty good right now. The trick is these new layouts and rules coming out. It's really tough mapping them out and keeping them on the lane because there's so many revs on the bowling ball.
Ooh, it's teetering,
Yeah, it is.
but hanging. So that was 4 strikes in a row from Holt. A 9 count, working on his 5th frame.
Oh, there's a plastic ball. I bet you Enderby's out there wishing you'd be throwing that right now up the boards.
And Holt fills his first spare of this match, 109 through 4. There you see. But, of course, it's closer than it looks, actually, because Smallin's working on
He's
2.
working on a double. So that can be a 77 right there and a 107 the next frame. It's all on that next ball. Moved up a little bit earlier.
Just judging by Holt's reaction to that, he's actually happy that there's just one of them hanging
Yes.
out there. Yeah.
That could have been a lot worse for the angle the head pin he took right there. He'll take that any day of the week.
Back to back.
Looked like he was worried there. Spare's going to keep it close. Whoever can keep striking is going to make the win here.
But in terms of the head-to-head, this is a fairly big frame right here for Smallin, correct?
This is big. And this one will put him within 11 pins, if I'm correct.
That's what Smallin needed. 3 in a row.
Make me do quick math on the spot here. If they punch out, Harold has them by 11.
Okay, so the edge still to Holt, but now Smallin trying to work on his 4th straight strike.
Yes.
Ooh, got it. Well, we certainly know that Smallin's able to string a bunch together.
Yeah.
In fact, in his 26 years as a bowler, he has 30 300s.
It's quite a bit. I'm running the same age and I only have 4. I was nowhere near as good as him back in our scratch days. He was the man to beat and still is.
So now it's kind of Holt's turn to figure something out after his back-to-back spares, correct?
He's got to find something. He's close. That was out a little farther. Lucky.
But he carried it.
He got good there. They're both playing the 5th arrow match, just getting the ball out quite a bit farther than Harold is. About 3 boards difference right now, right off that shot.
Same arrow, but the attack to the pocket much
The
different.
angle was much different right there. You want your ball to split the 8-9 at the end of the back of the lane. You want to do that, and that's when you know you're hitting really well.
8th frame. Little light.
Looks like his timing was off. It's like he stopped a little bit early before he threw his ball, which caused him to tug it quite a bit. And now he's keeping his head on his shoulders quite well for that ball.
It's just a fun match. Big swings from each guy in it. It's kind of fun.
They're keeping it very close.
Got him. Okay, so now it's Smallin's turn for frame number 8. And Matt has 4 straight strikes. Here you can see Thomas Wolf in the back, our number 1 qualifier. Thomas will take on the winner of this one for our championship.
He is watching the line right now. They're throwing. He's more of a swinger like Smallin.
Buried it. 5 in a row now for Smallin.
Harold has the work cut out for him now.
And it's frame number 9 for Matt. I mean, you can just tell when that thing starts to kind of hone in on that pocket that they're going away.
It revs up pretty nice. Leaves nothing on the deck. Everything gets blown 10 to the back.
He's got 6 in a row again. Last match he started it with 6 straight strikes. Now Smallin has strikes in the 4th, 5th, 6th, 7th, 8th, and now 9th frames. And this is the 9th frame for Harold.
That was interesting. I was expecting that ball to go through the nose for how much he missed in right there. And it did not. This 9th frame is big for Harold. He needs his X.
Does he get the X? Yep.
Gorgeous.
So now we're down to frame number 10. And Harold will roll it on lane 31.
Good amount of pressure here going through these guys. Quiet makes you nervous, doesn't it?
This is fun.
Yeah, it's good. Ooh.
Light.
Yeah, he didn't get the touch. That left lane changed on him pretty quick. He wasn't expecting it.
It tried. Not quite.
That pin needed a boogie, and it sat still. These new pins, they're not easy to knock down anymore.
And Harold will have one more ball to roll.
Makes those spares look effortless. Looks good.
See what he can add to the 218 he has already.
There, he found it.
228. Tenth frame here for Smallin. As we see the last strike there for Harold.
I think any fill should have Matt secured. See what he does. There it is.
That's the way to fill it. Our number 3 qualifier is back in the championship match. He has 2 more balls to roll yet here to finish out this one. Matt Smallin, after, again, Darren, we go back to he just looked like he was searching for, for which way to even throw the ball in the first couple frames, and now he's rolling it. He's making sure
he gets one.
Now he goes. Matt Smallin finishes off with a 245, so that's our highest on TV so far. Matt Smallin, a 245 to a 228, beating Harold Holt. That sets up our championship contest. No, I got to add that one more, don't I? 246? I jumped the gun. 246 for Matt, so that's still our high for the TV round so far. And our championship match is set up, and it's coming up next. We have Thomas Wolf, number 1 qualifier. He will take on Matt Smallin, who just advanced. We are back at Midway Lanes on Kfyr-Tv, KQCD-TV, KUMV-TV, and KMOT-TV. All together, we're going to call it NBC North Dakota Sports, and we're going to call this, Jim, our championship match.
Yep, and I want to thank Darren for stepping in and explaining bowling balls for everybody. He's quite knowledgeable. We've sent him all the schools, and it's kind of nice to have a professional in here. I don't drill anymore. I just casual drill, and I can't keep up with all the new stuff.
Before we get started here in our championship match, all of us would like to thank McQuaid Distributing in Bismarck, Braun Distributing in Dickinson, and Delaney Distributors in Williston for being part of our 33rd KFYR-TV Budweiser Bowling Classic. Without them, it makes it much more tough again, much more difficult to exist.
You know, the prize list it jumps up considerably with the donation and the contribution that we get from all 3 of those. Plus, you know, KFYR comes in with all the prizes and stuff, so it's very, very, very well done.
This is Thomas Wolf, our number 1 qualifier. Thomas again from Bismarck, his first frame championship match.
He is our overall qualifier, so he's sat back waiting.
No, but 1.
I wasn't sure. I thought I heard a thumb hole there. You know, thump, 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 thump. When you hear that, it means he didn't quite come out of it good and it's rolling over the thumb hole.
Can you tell on a replay or not? No, not really.
Not really. This will be a good match. In fact, the comment was made from Thomas to Matt that I hope we wind up going against each other in the final game. So this will be fun. They're good friends. You notice they just burn that ball down there in those spares. They take all hook out of play.
$2,000 as well as the trophy and the bragging rights and everything that will go to the champion. What a finish for that last game, though.
Matt, Matt, he's that kind of player. That's why he's been a 2-time winner. He's just that kind of player. He weighs about probably 140. He weighs that much.
And he smoked that one on first frame.
He's got the right equipment because it's turning over just perfectly, keeping all the energy on the end. He gets there, and then right at break point, it's just all the energy's there. He's putting out a statement right away. If you want me, come get me.
Come get me, yeah. That looked good coming off his hand as well.
Yes. You know, bringing in Darren, it's just a real nice chance to let people see some of our talent we have here working in Midway Lanes. I mean, we have got such a staff, and they take ownership in it, and they really love their job. I don't even have to be here anymore.
You mean a bowling center with 52 lanes doesn't run just on one person?
Oh, boy, I'll tell you. Every department's got their own thing, and they all get along so well.
Second frame here for Wolf as he's after his first strike of our championship match. There it is.
Very nice, very nice.
In terms of, I guess I'll call it angle of attack, if that's the proper way to do it, these two guys are a little similar in how they want to try to get the ball to the pocket, aren't
right, and it seems to work. And they both got the equipment. What they got going on now is they're sponsored by the major manufacturer of bowling balls. So they got a little emblem on the back. He's for Motive, and they got Brunswick was on the one for Harold Holt.
Third frame for Thomas Wolf. He's after a double. And he has it.
You bet. You got a match on. You know, Thomas this morning, when they're qualifying, they get a bonus 30 points for winning the match. And I can't tell you how many times he struck out the 10th or grabbed something in the 9th that took out the other guy by 4 or 5 pins for the additional 30 pins.
That's what you need to be able to get in the position he was as our number one qualifier.
He bowled very well this morning.
Smallin got him.
Yeah, good friends taking a shot at each other.
3 straight to start it here for Smallin. Matt again from Glenburn. Thomas from Bismarck.
I think the flu bug finally got out of Thomas's body. And I'm starting to get horsed up myself here, so I don't know what's going on.
The long days and no sleep and everything this week, I'm sure that has nothing to do with it, right?
Right.
Oh, there he goes. That one was certainly a high hit for Smallin, so he'll have a chance for a spare here in our 4th frame.
Yeah, we were talking last night. You know, yesterday was a 16, 18-hour day, and then we came in here with about 4 hours sleep this morning. And it's quite a commitment to make these things happen, you know.
Well, I've said this many times, and I guess I'll say it again. The reason this tournament has been around, and in my opinion, for its now 33rd year, is because of you. And I know you say it's because of everybody else. So I'm glad that's the way the circle of this bowling tournament's life works. But yeah, Jim, you're the leader of this thing, and you've been the kingpin, so to speak, of what we've done here for over 3 decades. It's
a labor of love. I love the game. I love the guys. I love the people. I love the business. Keeps me young.
4th frame for Wolf.
Stupid new pins. Yeah, I want to keep this tight. I want them to go right into the 10th frame to decide our winner today. We had a lot of fun at the banquet last night, just everybody picking on everybody and threw the prize. You missed it, but we didn't rough you up too bad.
If you did, I probably deserved it.
No, it's in a nice way. In a nice way.
The one fun thing, if you haven't ever been to the banquet with us, there's 120 guys and gals that start this thing, and we know that 30 are going to qualify for today to try to make it to the final 5. But when you announce the 30, you do it from 1st down to 30th, because there's a group of individuals that are trying to think, all right, am I in or am I out, or if I'm in, by how many? And so that's the fun part of the whole evening, I think.
Well, and the thing about it, out of 120 people out there, you know, we had one lady qualifier. We had 4 bowl the tournament, the ladies, and they all did very well. 3 of them didn't make it. But out of the 120, there's probably 90 guys can win this. There are people can win this thing. And there's only about 30 it's pretty rough for them. But they want to play it, and they want the experience.
5th frame for Wolf. Strike.
He got her. He needed it.
And this will be the 5th frame coming up for Smallin.
Right. 97 to 89. It's a very tight 8-pin difference if Matt strikes. Talking himself through it. Stay steady. Watch what you're doing.
And just do that. That's all you got to do is knock them all down. It's not that hard, is it?
They're both very powerful players. You know, they hit the ball really hard. They turn it up. Energy is right on the end.
I am obviously joking because I know how hard it is. It's extremely difficult. But that's the point of the game. Just knock them over.
I've always said, you know, if you're in a lot of other sports, they think, you know, bowling's not a physical sport and all that. You can take big football players, and if they haven't did the game, there's different muscles you use. You can wear them out in 6 games. These guys are bowling 20, 30 games out there.
That was true. That one looked really good.
Yes, that was nice.
So back-to-back strikes for Smallin. Matt opened this match with 3 strikes and then a spare, and now he's got back-to-back strikes. Thomas Wolf, this is lane 6. He had a spare, 2-strike spare, and a strike in the 5th.
You know, both these guys came in here with very good attitudes, wanting to win it. Thomas has taken a look at it a couple times, hasn't quite got to the top yet, but maybe the day could be the day. But not like that.
Kind of lost its energy, didn't it?
Yes, it did. It jumped right there in front of it. Thomas has got a 848 series out there. If you do the math on that, that's a 282 average per game for 3 games. That's pretty solid. Carries a 230 average league average. I mean, these aren't sluffers, I'll tell you.
No.
And that's on the league, or that's on the the league shot, the normal league. It's a little easier. You get a little more area to play in before you have to worry about not striking.
Yeah. Thomas is a vice president at Skeels Electric.
Yeah, he does a very good job over there. For a young man, he's kind of taken over the company from the head dogs, Just like I'm hoping to bring my young people in here and let me go.
Sailed that one out on the right, and it didn't quite come back.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you can see at the minute he released it, he got away when he gets out there, it catches that oil line, and she can't get there. There's that fine line down there, about 40 feet, 43 feet. Speed, look out. Okay, you can see it. He burned her down there. He didn't hit the right spot. Pretty well closes this game out if he doesn't watch it here. He can't do that again. He's go off for 225. He's still got a good game there yet. This one here could be a big one.
This man is obviously in the old driver's seat.
Yeah. If he carries this one, it's going to be a pretty tight game.
7th frame.
There it is. Boom. When he sees an opening, he goes for it.
Well, it didn't take you long from his release point for you to say, there it is. I mean, you could see it that fast off the fingertips. Huh?
Yeah, you can feel it. These guys, we watched them bowl so much over the years, you can tell a good shot the minute it leaves the hand. I don't know how many times I've called that out there. Nice shot, and the ball's not there. Lots of years. Look how deep he is. He's off left gutter.
And it fell, tripped it right at the end.
His foot was hanging in the left gutter in the lineup. That's how deep he is. That's throwing a lot of boards.
So that's 4 straight strikes after a spare in the 4th for Smallin.
Nice ball, nice ball. He can get a 225 yet. My Monday night guys, Tyler Benz, he runs that Wish over there at sandwich shop, does a great job. He turned out, he started out with 110 average, something like a 20. He can shoot 200 at you all day long. They love to watch the game. And then you got Joe Hansen, same thing. He went out there and he's a lefty. It took him, I said, you'll be there in 2.5 years. So he's there now. He's averaging about 180. These guys really love the game. So Monday night I'll be giving them a bad time.
There's back-to-back.
Because they always say, I can get in there and do that. Well, you got a little ways to go yet, but they are turning out to be great bowlers. Yeah,
I always like that. I like that angle right there where you can see that what they
Alton in the pit.
Yep.
It's just like it gathers them up and puts them in a net and throws them in the back. Look how deep he is. Holy smokes, is he deep.
For good reason, obviously.
Taking all the vertical out of play. He goes down there and just drops right in front of the pocket. Yeah, I don't think I've ever seen him shoot that deep. But he's making a statement. He wants to win again.
Well, I mean, he almost did last year. I mean, he was second last year, and Endersby won his first by beating Matt last year in the championship match. And Smallin is working his way to be a 3-time champion.
I said the lanes were tough for you this weekend, but he's making them look like they're not real tough. He had a 230 something in the third game, and this one here is going to be in the 279 if he gets the next two. That's huge.
Yeah, 246 last time.
246 and a 265, 266 if he gets this one. He's just playing around now, and he got her.
He can. You bet. The champion once again, Matt Smallin, is.
Yeah. Well,
Thomas will finish up. Yep.
He's going to have to wait for another year. He's going to get second, though. He moved up from third to second. So he bowled very well. He's going to shoot himself in the 220s here. You don't have to be embarrassed there. You'll be very proud of how he did. He made a couple bad shots there, but a couple non-carries. That's the difference in the game.
And
Ooh,
one more ball
pin,
in the
yeah,
one more ball here in the last.
Right.
266. That's as high as we've had in the last handful of years in our championship match, anyway, in terms of our winning.
And both games
score.
were good. Yep, 213 and 266. That's very good. Great show.
Congratulations, those two men just battle it out for the championship, which goes to Matt Smallin. Matt, now a 3-time champion of the Kfyr-Tv Budweiser Bowling Classic. We'll be right back with our trophy presentation, hand out some checks and that championship trophy when we come back to Midway Lanes. Midway Lanes in Mandan, where you have our champion, Matt Smallin. Matt rolls it out there pretty strong again, Jim. He picks up that championship with a 266, and we have our final 5 guys hanging there, and they always hang around because we have some checks to give them, and that's a very good thing.
We have some checks.
Let's bring out Mike Green. Mike, a couple years ago, we handed you the last check on TV. Today, we'll give you the first one. Mike Green from MINOT, our 5th-place finisher. His check is for $725. Mike, how'd your week go?
Oh, really well, actually. I didn't expect to get this far against this field of guys, so I was happy.
Well, congratulations on making the show. We'll see you again next year.
Thanks.
Mike Green finishes 5th. Another Mike Larson, come on in here. Mike Larson comes to us from Fargo. His check for 4th place has $850 on it. And same question to you. How'd your week go, Mike?
After game 1 yesterday, it went really well.
What happened in game 1?
I had 129, but averaged about 2 1/4 the last 7 to make it. So it was a great weekend.
You love to put yourself in adverse positions so you could come back, right?
Exactly.
No, not really. Thank
I
you.
don't recommend that at all.
Thank you very much, Mike.
Thank you.
Mike finishes in 4th. Harold Holt makes the TV show, and Harold. I remember, Jim, remember when we gave away $1,000 to our winner, and it seemed like a whole bunch of money, and now we're giving away $1,000 for 3rd place. Harold, what was your impression of the tournament in this week?
Well, I've been coming up here for several years from Rapid, and they put on a great show up here every single year. This is one that I don't miss. I make room in my schedule every year for it. So.
Well, thank you very much for bringing the South Dakota back up here in the north and being a part of this week.
Thank you very much. I had a great time.
Jim, any thoughts on what you've seen from Harold throughout the years and again this week?
I enjoy watching him bowl. He works hard. He works at a pro shop. He runs a pro shop in Meadowwood Lanes.
Robbinsdale.
That's where Robbinsdale is in Rapid City. And so he knows the game. He knows the balls and all that. But I'll tell you, a true gentleman and a true competitor. I really mean that.
Thank you, sir.
Harold, thank you. I'd shake your hand, but this one doesn't work. Thomas, it's a good news, bad news situation for Thomas Wolf, because Thomas said the highest he's finished on TV is 3rd. You beat that, but you couldn't beat Matt, so he finishes with a 2nd place finish, a runner-up trophy. Jim, if you want to grab that for Thomas as well, and a check that says $1,400. There's the runner-up trophy. Well, Thomas, you come in as the number 1 qualifier, so obviously there's a lot of things the last 2 days that went well for you.
Yeah, it wasn't too bad. I wanted to bowl Matt. I got to bowl Matt. Unfortunately, I got the best Matt. So I've been battling the flu and everything for the whole week, so this is kind of icing on the cake. So
you feel physically much better this week than last, I'm assuming.
Yeah, I do actually finish today. So
in terms of where your game's at, where do you feel where you're at and how it's been rolling for you?
I think I've been throwing it really well, obviously when I am healthy. looking forward, I mean, I don't think I can go down from where I'm at if I'll take a second place finish every weekend. So,
Jim, your impressions of what Thomas did this week? I know you've been watching him bowl for a long, long time.
A long, long time, and I'll tell you, Thomas is a competitor. He's very, very, thorough with his shots and all that. Last week I felt sorry for him because I heard he qualified 5th and he got the flu bug. He brought it down here, just getting over it. He was a little weak yesterday, but he's coming. He went from 3rd to 2nd. Now we're looking for a 1st maybe next year. Congratulations.
All right, thank you. And for the 3rd time, Matt Smallin is going to grab the championship trophy from Jim as he presents them. Matt's check will have $2,000 that he'll be able to put into the bank.
And there you go.
I don't know where
you can't see me.
Go ahead and set her down, Matt, as we get a chance to talk with you a little bit. Your week obviously went well. You put yourself in a position which you want to be. You got a chance to be on the show, and you rolled it all out and finished with a 266. And I know Jim and I were saying that's as high a championship match in terms of pins as we've had in a handful of years. So when it was rolling right, what was rolling right for you?
Well, in this final part, we have an opportunity on this practice pair over here to try some balls that we haven't tried. And I pulled out that ball there, the AMF Encore, and I had a look, and I really loved what it was doing there, and I just brought it over here, and it had the same look. And it's just you try that ball, and if you're lucky enough to see it.
We were talking a little bit about Parker, and he's your son, almost 3 years old now. I'm assuming they're watching, and if so, what would you like Parker to know about how this week went for you down here?
Parker, Daddy misses you, little guy. We're gonna come get you from Grandma and Grandpa soon.
Matt, you've been very competitive for quite a while in these bigger regional tournaments. How old were you, or when did this bowling bug bite, and when did you know that you wanted to be as committed to it as you have been?
When I was 8, I was pretty mad about not being able to shoot 100. So that's pretty much when it started. But I think really it bit me hard when I made my first Kfyr show in 2009. So that's pretty much when I knew I was going to be real committed to this.
Cool. We like that. Jim, what do you like about what Matt continues to do?
Well, I'm going to tell you, and Matt, you're one of my favorite bowlers. You became that over the years, your animation and all that, but the red pants didn't hurt you a bit. You got the purple.
Yeah, the red ones ran out of soup, man.
All right. But you're an amazing young bowler. You're not a big guy, and you take these big guys and you put them in their place. I'll tell you what, you got a lot of good years coming, and I can't wait to see your son bowl. Okay.
Me too.
All right.
Matt, thank you very much. Our champion once again. Let's congratulate Matt Smallin, now a 3-time Kfyr-Tv Budweiser bowling champion. Matt, very well done. Grab that with you. Jim, we don't have anything else to do but kind of give me your final thoughts. What do you think, and how things rolled, and how the show went today?
Well, I keep saying every year it can't get any better than what we had, but I think this is even better than last year again. Of course, kudos and thanks to all our staff here. Amazing staff. You guys at Kfyr, Budweiser people, they're just all good friends of mine. And it's fun. And when I was told that you weren't going to make the show, I was really disappointed. And I just playing big and all that. Well, we'll just wing it. We'll do this and that. But this show can't go on without you, big boy.
That's what I say about you. So let's say
right.
we do it again next year.
Let's do it again next
all
year.
right. Thank you very much.
I'm going to go 35 years and I'm out of here. All right?
Well, next year will be 34.
I
So
know,
at least we got 2 years to talk him into doing it a little bit longer.
You got it.
All right.
Thank you so much.
Thanks, Jim, and thanks to everyone for watching here. And congratulations again to Matt Smallin, now a 3-time champion of the Kfyr-Tv Budweiser Bowling Classic. That'll wrap it up for our 33rd annual. And we'll do number 34 next year, won't we, Jim?
You got it, but you won't be looking like that. You won't be looking like that.
No, hopefully I'll have this thing off. Thanks. And thanks again for watching. We'll see everybody.
Thank you for watching the 33rd Annual Kfyr-Tv Budweiser Bowling Classic. Brought to you by McQuaid Distributing in Bismarck, Braun Distributing in Dickinson, and Delaney Distributors in Williston.